Hello, friends. Today we're going to look at the question many have when they watch our videos and they see eggs unrefrigerated. The question of, hey, how did they get away with that in Mexico? Well, before we crack into this topic, I do need your help in growing our channel. Please hit the like button and please leave your questions and your thoughts in the comment section. We'd love to know what you think. Okay, picked up this dozen eggs from the grocery store from Soriana yesterday, and the date is given when they were packaged, and the date is posted when you should get rid of them or have consumed them by. There are 12 eggs in there, and I chose the white eggs, no particular reason, and it seems like they don't sort them as far as large and medium and extra large and all that kind of thing. You got 12 eggs. Because some of them are large like this, and this one here seems to be more of a medium or a smaller egg than this one does. But what's surprising is that they're all pretty clean, because sometimes they have some remnants of where they came from left on them. But let's open them up and see what we have. Good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning. We're going to have some eggs, and I've already showed you about the label on that. The dozen eggs here, we're going to cook up a couple of them, but we're going to talk about something here. In Mexico, unlike the USA, and I will say this, when I say in Mexico, I could also say in Great Britain. I could say in France. I could say in Germany. A lot of countries that I've been into in Europe, the same thing is practiced. Eggs are not refrigerated. So why are eggs refrigerated in the United States? If you go to a grocery store in the USA, chances are the eggs are going to be in the refrigerator section and there will be no eggs on a shelf anywhere. However, in Mexico, the eggs are on a shelf. Now, in your larger grocery stores, they're going to do both, and they do that just so that it satisfies those who want them refrigerated. But are those eggs any different in the refrigerated section as opposed to those in the non-refrigerated? The answer is yes, and it will surprise you a little bit to understand why, and we will explain that in this video. But let's crack up on a couple of eggs and see if they really look any different. As you can tell, they look the same. Okay, when we've traveled internationally, something that has surprised us and caused us to question is why in markets or grocery stores are the eggs not in the refrigerator? They're on a shelf, or they're in a basket, or they're on the counter near the checkout. In the USA, they're always in the refrigerated section. The answer has to do with bacteria known as salmonella. And no, salmonella is not what salmon named their female offspring. Salmonella is bacteria and it's not good. Most of the time that people are infected is because they ate food that was contaminated by, how do I say this as politely as possible, poo. It could be animal poo, such as left on the egg by the chicken, or if you or your chef didn't scrub your hands good after visiting the loo, you could be introducing poo to a not-so-yummy surprise. Salmonella invades your gastrointestinal tract, and it will take antibiotics to make you feel all better. And I don't mean to make this sound like not a big deal, because it is a big deal. You can get typhoid if the salmonella invades your bloodstream. It can spread through your body, and you can be introduced to hypovolemic shock, septic shock, and even death. Kind of a big deal. So with the scary part out of the way, why does most of the world seem to get by without refrigerating those eggs, while in the USA, it's the law that eggs are sold in the refrigerated section of the market? Hey, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks. And leave your comments down below. The U.S. Department of Agriculture believes that the best way to combat salmonella is by sanitizing the eggs before they get to you. On commercial farms, the eggs must be thoroughly washed, then refrigerated. They are trucked refrigerated, they're kept refrigerated at the store, and right until you crack the shell to cook them, they are refrigerated. But, and this is the big difference, by washing the eggs, they are also removing the natural membrane coating of the egg, and this leaves the shell porous. But there again, what about in Mexico? What about other parts of the world like Europe? How do they get away with this? Their health departments handle the threat of salmonella differently. Eggs are not required to go through extensive washing, and this leaves that protective coating that we talked about, that membrane, it leaves it on the egg. And because this coating remains on the eggs, authorities feel it is safe for them to be sold at room temperature. In some countries, the laying hens are vaccinated to prevent salmonella. Okay, friends in America, once you've bought that carton of eggs from the store, are you okay with keeping it on the counter instead of the fridge? Not so fast there. Once that thoroughly washed egg, which is now more porous, has been refrigerated, it is very important that it be kept refrigerated. A cool egg at room temperature will likely sweat, and that will allow the possibility of bacteria that could enter the egg through that porous shell. Eggs, besides just being tasty, they're like the perfect food. Vitamin A, 8% of the daily value, folate, 6% of the daily value, pantothenic acid, vitamin B5, 14% of your daily value, vitamin B12, 23% of the daily value, riboflavin, vitamin B2, 20% of the daily value, phosphorus, 7%, selenium, 28%. Eggs also contain decent amounts of vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin B6, calcium, and zinc. That egg has 78 calories, 6 grams of protein, and 5 grams of fat, so they are excellent for you. Friends, thanks again for watching our videos. We really appreciate you being a part of our family and joining us on the journey. Hit that like button if you liked it, and we appreciate that. Leave your comments down in the comment section so that we'll know what you think of this video and what we could do better or what we could do to answer some questions for you about life in Mexico. Hit the share button, and if you've not already done so, please subscribe. Thank you so very much. Dios te bendiga, mi amigos.